Okay guys, so I'm going to go over tonight's homework, and it's from this packet, which is page 24 in your binder, and we're going to go to page 7, no, page 5. Page 5 in the packet, it says finding slope from a graph. Okay, so when you're trying to find the slope, we're going to find change in y over change in x. But thankfully, when you're given a graph, you don't have to do like the literal find the coordinates doing x2 minus x1, the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can just use arrows. So from here, what we discussed in class was that there's actually 4 ways to find slope. 2 ways if you pick this bottom point. You can go up first, then right, or right, then up. And then that's 2 ways right there. And then if you decide to start with this top point, you can have 2 ways from here. Go left and then down, or down and then left. So there's 4 options technically. But either way, it gives you the same answer. So I might do it one way, you might do another way, but we both did it correctly and get the same answer. So I'm going to strongly suggest that you pause the video and try it on your own. But if you are very not sure what we're doing, then feel free to follow along with me, but pause the video frequently and see how much you can do on your own. Okay, so for example, for me, I might choose this point. So then from here, I'm going to try to get there by either going up, then to the right, or right and then up. So I'll try going up and then right. So you have to draw the arrowheads, okay? So if I'm going up, that's a +1. And if I go right, I went right 2, that's +2. Because it's plus if you're going up 1. And if it's plus if you're going right. Because anytime you go up or right, that's positive. If you're going down or left, it's negative. So now the question is, which number goes on top? Change in y goes on top. Now y, remember the y-axis goes up and down. Which arrow goes up or down? This one does. Okay, not this one. This goes right. And that's for the change in x. So the +1 goes on top. The +2 goes on bottom. Leave the positives out and you just write 1/2. That is the slope of this line. That means no matter where you are on the line, you just go up 1, right 2, you're back on the line. Up 1, right 2, you're back on the line. Okay? So that is the line, that is the slope of this line. Now let's go to number 2. Number 2, let's say you have these 2 points here. Now, oh sorry, let me just go back here. So that was one way to do this, but if you're like, Miss Hong, what if I went right 2 and then up 1? That's fine. You're still going to get a +1 over +2 because the change in y still goes over change in x. Alright, so now let's go to number 2. Alright, number 2, you can draw your arrows. Now, don't get confused if you're like, oh, but my arrows look different than yours. But do our answers come out to be the same, okay? So for example, like let's say I'm going to decide to go right 2, that's a plus, and then turn the corner and go down 2 to get to the second point. Well, which one's my rise? Or I'm sorry, which one is my change in y? The change in y is -2. So because remember, y-axis goes up and down. This one's going down. And that my change in x is a +2. Well, negative divided by positive is a negative, okay? 2 divided by 2 is a 1. So this has a slope of -1, which means you can go down 1, right 1, be on the line, down 1, right 1, be on the line, okay? So there you go. Now, you could have said, well, Ms. Hong, what if I went down first and then to the right, okay? Then this -2 still goes on top and the +2 goes on bottom. But then some of you might be like, but what if I start at the bottom point? Okay, so I'll try that with you. What if I start at the bottom point and I go left 2, that's a -2, and then go up 2, that's a +2. Well, which one's the change in y? The vertical one. So 2, this +2 goes over this -2. And you might be like, but yeah, over here the sign's on top. Yeah, because I started in a different spot. Okay, here the sign's on the bottom. And then, but when you divide, you still get a -1. So either one is fine. You're still going to end up with the same answer. Okay? Alright, so number 3. Again, I would strongly suggest you pause your video and try it on your own. You'll probably notice we've seen one like this just a minute ago. So this one, if I go up 1 and right 2, okay? Or you can go right 2 and then up 1. Or you could have started here, go down 1 and then left 2. Okay, so let's say I did do that. Let's say I decided to go left 2, okay? So just to change it up from number 1, because number 1 and 3 look very similar, let's say I decided to go left 2, and then I go down 1. Okay? Well, which number goes on top? It's still this -1 is the change in y, because remember, y's go up and down. -1 over -2. But the negative and negative comes out to be positive, so I'm going to just get rid of that, and then nothing else simplifies, so the answer is actually just 1/2. Okay? Number 4. Alright, so I'm just going to pick one. So let's say I go up, stop here because I'm about to turn, and then left. So when you're counting, wherever you start your pencil, that's 0. Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went up 5, right? So this is a plus 5. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then from here you turned, you're going left, which is negative, and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I don't know why I just drew that equals. Okay, so which one's the change in y? The one that's a vertical movement, and the plus 5 does that. The change in x is -4. Beware, do not put -4 over 5. That will give you the wrong answer. Okay, so then positive divided by negative is negative, and then 5 over 4 does not simplify, so it just stays that way. Alright, number 5, oh, easy. This is just a horizontal line. The slope is 0. Done. Okay. There's another one like that, number 8. It's vertical, and that is undefined. You can write it like this, or you can write out the word undefined. Okay? And then number 6. Alright, so let's say I decided to go from here. I'm going to go right 1, and then up. Okay, so that's right 1. That's a plus 1. Then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and up is a positive as well. Well, which one is it 4 over 1, or is it 1 over 4? Because those are very different numbers. So remember, change in y goes on top. Think of the y-axis. Which one's a vertical arrow? It's the +4 over the change in x. That actually divides to be a +4. So the slope is 4 for this line. Okay? Alright, and then number 7, look at this line. I should anticipate it to be negative because it's going down. So, well, okay, so whether I go down and over or up and then to the left, it's up to you, okay? There's 4 options here. So let's say I decide to go down and then to the right. So if I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a -4. And then right 1, 2, right is a positive. But which number goes on top? The 2 or the -4? Well, which one is a change in y? The one that goes up and down, right? So it's -4 over +2. Now, we already anticipate this to be a negative slope. And the reason the math is showing that is because a negative divided by positive is negative. Now 4 divided by 2 is going to come out to be a nice integer. So let's say you didn't know that. So you divide the top and bottom by 2. Then you're going to get 2 over 1, which ends up being 2. So, and the negative, of course, I'm still considering that as well. So the final answer here is -2. 0 is the slope here, and undefined is the slope here. Alright guys, again, if you have trouble, I would say go back and try to do some of these on your own, and then come back to the video if you still have trouble. Alright, this is the end of the video.